What is going on, UFC card lovers? Welcome back here for another episode at UFC Card Talk. My name is Damien, and if you're new to the channel here at UFC Card Talk, I try to talk about everything to do with UFC cards, from collecting to investing and also recent UFC card hobby news. This week's episode, there's two things I want to cover. First off, we are going to be talking about the recent Khamzat 2021 Rookie Prizm Gold PSA 10 sale that I did do a video on 2 weeks ago. I'll put a link in the description to my reaction to that recent sale. But there was some questions regarding whether that sale was actually legitimate or not, and it has come to my attention that someone who reached out to me on my Instagram at UFC Card Talk, they wanted to remain anonymous, but they put me in the right direction that it was actually a legitimate sale, and that card was bought by somebody who is very, very prominent in the sports card hobby. Not just in UFC, but across all sports. So we're going to be going over that. I'm going to show you guys how we can check out that that was a legitimate sale. And also, I want to show you guys a quick tool how you can use to maybe do a little bit more research, maybe learn a little bit more about UFC cards in general. So stick around for that one also. But talking about the Khamzat Gold sale, so this anonymous person did reach out to me on my Instagram. They did message me just after seeing my post, because I did make a post questioning whether this sale was legitimate. This PSA 10 Rookie Gold for Khamzat selling for $30,098. I put a post up on my Instagram just because the card was listed for sale by the same seller for a much higher buy it now price. But it has come to my attention since then, since making that post, after this person got in contact with me, you can go through and you can check out the bid history on eBay for a card, and we're going to be doing that just now. So as we can see here, we have the sold listing for the Khamzat Gold PSA 10. If we click on the sale, I am on a desktop obviously here, you can click on the bid history here. It will say how the item has ended. And obviously with these bidder histories, these actually do not have anything to do with the username for the bidders. eBay will generate an automatic anonymous username they will give for each bidder who puts a bid in for this item. And it will remain the same anonymous username every time that user bids on the card, just for that listing only, if that makes sense for you guys. So we can see here the winning bidder was given this username here, starting with an O, ending with a 5. They bidded here twice, once at 20,000 and then within the last hour at 30,098. But what we can see here is we do have this here number. That is the feedback rating for the buyer, for the bidder. So eBay will include that into the bid history just because it helps legitimize that the bidder is someone who does have a good feedback, does have a good track record with eBay as a platform. So as we can see here, the person who wanted to remain anonymous, they did message me and they did send me through these here. First the listing showing the username with the feedback, and that actually lines up with the feedback listing here for Aoki's Card House. And if you're not familiar with Steve Aoki, he is well, first off, a well-known DJ, but he is a very, very well-known influencer slash enthusiast in the sports card hobby, and he does have listings for UFC cards for sale on his Aoki's Card House on his eBay store. But we can see here that the feedback rating lines up with this bidding history, and then sent me that there at the time. That was the day I made that post, which was almost 2 weeks ago now. But we can also double check reference that that is correct here as well, because obviously with a feedback rating, that number is going to change every time you get a new feedback on your eBay store. So we can see at the time what that feedback rating was when he screenshotted the bid history, and we can double check that now 2 weeks later. So we can see that the feedback rating here, as I've clicked on this, is at 2109. And if we head over to Aoki's Card House, his feedback rating is 2109. So it's quite safe to say that this is actually true, and it was Steve Aoki, or a representation of Steve Aoki from Aoki's Card House, that has made that purchase for that Khamzat Gold PSA Rookie Prizm, which I think is very, very important. I did make my reaction at the time. My reaction has not changed to the sale of that card, but one thing I do want to add to this is I just think it's really important, and I think it's a great sign for the UFC card hobby in general, that we do have these influential people within the card hobby, these big spenders in the UFC card hobby, putting big money towards UFC cards, which I think helps legitimize the UFC card hobby. As for why the seller has still this card listed, this card was actually listed as a buy it now before it was put up to auction, so it is quite possible that this seller, who does have around about 400 listings of all types of sports cards, has just simply forgotten about that original buy it now listing and has left it up on an automatic restart. So that could be a simple explanation as to why this card is still listed with the initial seller, which was the suspicious thing that I thought in the first place. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Has your opinion changed now that it very much seemed like this was a legitimate sale for that Khamzat Gold Rookie Prizm? I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments below, so let me know. So the other thing I wanted to do for this video, guys, was show you guys a bit of a tool that I use often to basically do a little bit of research, whether it's research on card sets, releases from the past, starting with tops, or whether it's just trying to follow any trends that we've seen in the UFC card market over the past 14 years. If you've been around the hobby for a while, you're going to know this resource exists, but if you're new to the UFC card market, if UFC cards have brought you into the hobby to begin with, maybe you don't know that this exists, and I'm going to show you guys a quick little tip, a quick little tool that you can start implementing to help your hobby experience. So we're going to be going over to the Blowout Forums website. So clicking on the Blowout Forums website here, we're going to be scrolling down on the homepage. Scroll down, we've got the Hobby Talk here, and we can see the subgroup MMA Mixed Martial Arts. And as we can see here, we have 30 pages of all different types of chat threads. Some of these will be pinned. The pinned ones are generally ones that are general information or ones that are good to start off with. But we can, as we scroll through here, we'll just see all different types of threads that people have spoken about, that members have talked about with UFC cards. So we have one here on the 2023 Prizm. If we scroll, we'll go halfway here, go back to page 15. We have gone back in time here, guys. We are back into 2013 now. 2013, my favorite Topps Bloodlines card set year. But we've got here, see, 2013 Knockout, people talking about different card sets and releases. So just a quick little tip, quick little tool for you guys who are interested in learning more about the UFC cards in general and potentially looking for hobby trends, as I mentioned before. That's going to do it for this week's episode, guys. A short and sweet one. I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss out on my weekly UFC card related videos.